I was never supposed to be in her kitchen that day, much less have that conversation. It all started with a late delivery, a forgotten phone charger, and a whole lot of awkward tension that I had no clue what to do with. But somehow, that moment changed everything. My name's Kyle. I'm 24, just graduated from college, trying to piece my life together in the kind of patchwork way that young guys like me tend to do. Between job interviews and freelancing gigs, I worked part-time for a local delivery company, and that's how I met her, Lauren Carter. She lived in the newer side of the neighborhood, where the driveways were spotless and the houses had personality. Not like the row houses I was used to delivering to. Lauren's home was a stunning two-story with big windows and a wraparound porch that always had fresh flowers on it. It looked like the kind of place you'd see in magazines. The first time I dropped off a package there, she met me at the door with a smile that could stop time. She wore a navy sundress and had this effortlessly pulled-together vibe. Her brown hair fell in soft curls over her shoulders, and her eyes sparkled with that kind of self-assuredness you don't often see in people under pressure. I remember thinking, she doesn't look a day over 30. I handed her the box, nodded awkwardly, and said, "You look amazing for 43. I meant it as a compliment. Just a harmless, passing comment. But instead of a polite thank you, she paused and looked at me with one eyebrow raised. Then she smirked. Then stop looking and do something. I froze. I was speechless. And then I laughed, nervously, thinking she was joking. Lauren didn't say anything else. She just gave me that mysterious smile and closed the door. I walked back to the van, half smiling and half panicking. 4 days, I couldn't get that sentence out of my head. Was she serious? Was she teasing? Was it just playful banter? Either way, something shifted in that moment. She wasn't just a beautiful woman on my delivery route anymore, she was a mystery I wanted to understand. A week later, I got another delivery request to the same address. This time it was a Saturday morning, and I was off duty. But the system had overbooked deliveries and offered a bonus if we picked up extra routes. Naturally, I took it. My heart raced when I saw her address on the screen. She opened the door again, this time wearing jeans and a light sweater. She looked even more stunning than I remembered. When I handed her the box, she gave me that same amused look. "So, did you think about what I said?" she asked. "I did," I said honestly. "And I haven't stopped since." That surprised her. She leaned against the doorframe, arms crossed, and tilted her head slightly. "Most people don't take those things seriously." "Well, I guess I'm not most people." She nodded. "Come in. You want a coffee?" Every rational part of me was saying no, this was out of line, unprofessional, and probably a bad idea. But I walked in anyway. Her home smelled like cinnamon and pine, and it was warm in the way homes only are when someone really lives in them. She led me to the kitchen, and we talked, really talked, for the first time. Lauren told me she used to be a graphic designer but now ran an online store selling handmade candles and home decor. She'd been divorced for about 4 years, no kids, and loved her independence. I told her about my struggles with post-college life, the anxiety of finding something that didn't make me feel invisible, and how hard it was to feel like you mattered. "You matter," she said without hesitation. "You just haven't figured out why yet." That hit harder than I expected. No one had ever said that to me. Not like that. We kept talking, and somehow in our past. I left that day with more than just a thank you. I left with curiosity burning in my chest. Over the next few weeks, we crossed paths again, sometimes by accident, sometimes not. I helped her move a few boxes into her garage. She invited me to stay for dinner once when her friends cancelled last minute. I found myself staying longer each time. The conversations deepened. We talked about everything: music, philosophy, regrets, growth. It wasn't just the age difference that made her fascinating. It was how certain she was about herself, how unapologetically confident she carried herself. One evening, as we sat on her back porch watching the sky turn purple, I asked her, "Were you serious? The first day I said you looked amazing?" She sipped her wine slowly, then turned to me. "Yes. But I wanted to see what kind of man you were. Most boys flirt. Few follow through. And what do you think now?" I asked. "I think you're not a boy." That silence between us was heavy, but not uncomfortable. It was charged with unspoken thoughts. And yet, nothing crossed a line. Lauren was careful, graceful, even. She gave me space to choose who I wanted to be, without forcing anything. The neighborhood began to notice. Once, at a grocery store, someone asked if I was her nephew. Lauren just laughed it off. I felt a pang of confusion. Should I feel weird? Should I be embarrassed? But I wasn't. There was something undeniably empowering about being seen with her. She wasn't trying to be younger. She didn't need to. Her age didn't define her, it refined her. Our relationship grew, but we kept it platonic, maybe because we both knew the world would never understand, maybe because it was safer that way. But there were moments. Little moments. The way her hand brushed against mine when we reached for the same bowl. The way she looked at me when she thought I wasn't paying attention. Then came a turning point. I had a job interview in the city. She helped me practice for it the night before. We stayed up late, going over answers, posture, confidence tips. Don't let them think they're doing you a favor, she said. You're not just asking for a job, you're offering them your value. The interview went better than expected. I got the offer. I told her first. She hugged me. A real, tight, proud hug. When we pulled back, I saw something in her eyes I hadn't seen before. Something vulnerable. Something scared. And that's when I realized she didn't want me to go. Come celebrate with me, she said. That night, we had dinner at her place again. There was no big announcement. No confessions. Just quiet music, great food, and a deep unspoken connection. At one point, I leaned in and said, "You really do look amazing. Not just for 43. Just, amazing." She looked at me for a long time. Then stopped looking and do something. This time, I didn't freeze. But instead of making some dramatic move, I reached for her hand. Held it. No assumptions. No pressure. Just a signal that I understood what she meant, and that I was ready, finally, to respond not with words, but with respect and intention. We didn't kiss that night. But something bigger happened. A wall between us came down. Weeks passed. I started my new job. We talked less often, but when we did, it meant more. There was space now, healthy space, and it allowed me to grow. I wasn't the uncertain delivery guy anymore. I was someone stepping into my own, and I owed some of that confidence to her. One evening, I dropped by unannounced. She opened the door, surprised but smiling. "You again?" I had to say thank you. For what? For challenging me. For believing I was more. She stepped aside. "Come in, Kyle."